looks like it's coming towards us right now, but don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Just let it. Yeah, it's not going to fling on the boat. Just, it's right here. It's right here. Holy mackerel. What the hell is this thing? It's coming up. Oh my god. Hold on. No, stop. Let it come up.
Oh, it's a big...
What the fuck is that? Go! Go! I don't know what that is, Dave. Just hold on. Just stay. Stay. It's coming up over there. It's over there. What the fuck is that? It's coming up. Oh my god. Hold on. No, stop. Let it come up. What the fuck is that? Go! Go! I don't know what that is, Dave. Just hold on. Just stay. Stay. It's coming up over there. It's over there. What the fuck is that? Let it come up. Let it come up.
Suburban every morning, grandmother screaming at the wall. We have to shout out loud the tin of our Rice Krispies. We can't hear anything at all. Mother chants a litany of burden and frustration, but we know all her suicides are fake. Daddy always stares into the distance. There's always so much more that he can't take. Many miles away, something grows from the slime at the bottom of a dark Scottish lake. Another industrial early morning. The factory belches filth into the skies. He walks unhindered through the picket lines today. He doesn't think to wonder why. The secretaries pout and grin like cheap tarts in our red light street, but all he ever thinks to do
now with that strange thing spotted in Alaska's waters, raising big questions this morning. Could it be, yes, George, could it be an American Loch Ness Monster? ABC's Gio Benitez is here. Gio, what do you think?
Prove it, Gio.
I agree with you, and I love that music, by the way. Listen, I'm not easily convinced by this stuff, but wait till you really look at this video. Many in Alaska wonder if it's the rumored relative of the Loch Ness Monster. So on this Halloween, you decide. It's the 15-foot mystery, moving slowly and methodically through Alaska's freezing water, garnering almost 500,000 views on Alaska's Bureau of Land Management website. Locals asking if this is Alaska's own version of the Loch Ness Monster, the much-talked-about China Chomper. One visitor to the site believes China is back, writing, "The China Chomper, it's back. It was like our own Bigfoot." Another finding the Halloween sighting spookily timed, speculating it could be zombie salmon. That's what I thought. Whether it's really a frozen rope, as one biologist suggests, a very cold fish, or a real-life monster, the people of Alaska finding solace in the words of some Loch Ness locals this morning.
When I first saw the object, I remember thinking how strange and kind of spooky it was, and it was exciting. I'd never seen anything like that, and I knew that I was the only person seeing it right then. My name's Craig McKay. I'm a public affairs specialist for the Bureau of Land Management. And it's a federal agency that manages tens of millions of acres of public land, and my job is to explain to the American public how we're taking care of that land for current and future generations. I was turning to go back to the office when some motion caught my eye down in the river. And I looked down and saw this really strange object that totally took me aback. My first thought was, what in the world is that? It was much larger than anything I'd seen in the river, and it was swinging back and forth in the current, and I thought to myself, this is strange, I need to get a video of this. I didn't think photos would do it justice, because you really needed to see this thing moving back and forth and sort of rolling back in the murky water. It kind of was interested in shooting the video partly so that I could prove to people, yes, I really did see this weird thing in the river. It was really engaging, like it makes your mind think, what am I seeing here? I went back to the office and found a colleague and we sat around and made a fun little video.
Filmed in June of 1997 in Turkey at Van Lake. It was filmed by a university teaching assistant named Unal Kozak, and he estimated the length of this thing to be about 15 meters. Lake Van's deepest point is 1,481 feet, with an average depth of 561 feet. Natural, and it just looks like it's a constant stream of air being blown out of possibly a hose underneath the surface of the water.
"71% of the surface of Earth is covered in water. The oceans make around 96% of all the water on the planet, with over 352 quintillion gallons. On average, the ocean is around 12,000 feet deep, so there's enough water in the oceans to at least cover the tallest buildings in the world. And I say all this to give you an idea of how much space there is in the ocean. Enough room to home a population of sea creatures, including those you may only find in mythology.
YouTuber named Connell Malarkey is boating in Northern Ireland when a creature partially emerges from the water and easily keeps pace. Connell and his friends watch in amusement as the fast-moving creature passes them and then fully submerges back into the water without a trace. I could be wrong, but it looks like this could be the top of the creature's head, in which case I can't even imagine how large the rest of the monster must have been. Then again, it could have just been the shell of an exceptionally large turtle, or even something not alive at all.
When a local man nabbed this video of the mysterious monster with the mouth-garbling 16-letter name, Lagerflotsormer.
Welcome to Egglestadir. I think that's how you pronounce it.
A remote area of spectacular fjords and finger lakes.
Helter. Jeffrey. Very nice to meet you.
The witness. Piotr Karolf, the sheep farmer who shot the now famous video. He lives on a ramshackle farm overlooking the lake where the monster, or worm as they call it, is said to live.
So how did the worm move when you saw it? What kind of movement did it make?
Hvernig hreyfði þetta sig?
Þetta var bara svona eins og slanga.
Just like a snake?
Like a snake.
Já. Ringi í fréttamann sjónvarpsins.
He was having his morning coffee when he spotted the creature.
Just to be clear, you just had coffee for breakfast, nothing more to drink?
Já. Herðu, ég hef ekki smakkað áfengi í 7 ár.
He hasn't tasted alcohol in 7 years.
Okay.
He adds he's been told about the monster since he was a boy.
This is a very old monster.
Very old.
Who better than the local historian to fill us in?
He was looking at a map from 1595. It just said in this lake lives a huge monster that often appears when something dreadful is going to happen.
One troubling detail, ancient records and historic sightings suggest the monster is miles long with a hump back. The creature in Hjortur's video is big, but not that big.
Do you know anyone who's seen the monster?
Yeah, I know. Actually, I know a couple of people that have seen the monster. Yeah, and people that I believe in. My mother-in-law, she has seen the monster, for example. I don't doubt that.
Nobody's ever going to question a mother-in-law's sighting of a monster.
Some think what you're seeing here is just ice from the spring thaw. Others think it's just a fishing net.
Do you believe that there really is a Lagerflotsorm?
Not as a living creature. I think it's impossible.
Why?
Because a living creature have to have something to eat.
Well, aren't there fish in there?
There's a fish, but I don't think it's enough for a big creature.
But then he offers this.
When I drive around the lake looking for birds or reindeer, I always look over and I have my camera to be prepared if I see something.
So you don't believe it, but you're prepared to be for the possibility.
Yes.
Which brings us back to Hjortur, the farmer, who can be surprisingly philosophical from his perch overlooking the lake.
Do you believe it?
It's a yes and no question, says the farmer. When they say God exists, I mean you've never seen him. Does the Lagerflotsormer exist? Well, you have to believe. That from one of the few people to have ever seen it. I'm Jeffrey Kaufman for Nightline on the shores of Lagerflots in Egglestadir, Iceland.
Thomas Wilson's team was conducting research off the Australian coast. To do so, they submerged an underwater cage that would allow them to attract numerous creatures from the area and thus evaluate their behavior and their different forms. However, in the middle of the experiment, something very scary happened. One of the divers in the cage decided to get out of the cage to go up to the surface. This was normal, just a part of the routine, but in the process, he sensed a strange presence approaching them. The camera couldn't capture what it was exactly, but the diver did. In his words, it was a monster, an unnatural deformed creature of impossible size. The diver managed to escape from it, and when he reached the surface, he asked the team to illuminate the area to record what he had seen. The technicians did their best, but the light moved slowly, as did the camera lens. However, almost by chance, they managed to capture the silhouette of the creature, a massive sea monster much larger than any shark in the area. None of the members of the investigation were able to define what this creature was exactly, but its existence poses a great danger.
Wenzel, a Michigan resident, posted a strange video on his Facebook page. The video, a giant monster that can be seen by the side of the Loch Ness Lake. According to Wenzel, he went for recording a storm with his webcam. Suddenly, the storm took a gigantic size, and that is when the incident happened. A gigantic and mysterious creature appears in the video. He gets confused and fear provokes him to leave the place, but the fascination for unknown creatures doesn't let him leave. Charlevoix's South Pier Light Station Lighthouse, an illuminated landmark for Lake Michigan ships. It was the monster that took the attention of Wenzel when he was filming a storm in Lake Michigan. The video is not that clear to perfectly objectify the thing as a monster, but for the time being it seems so. However, after the release of that video, individuals are giving an opinion. Some people are saying that it is a sort of god or goddess of the lake who is reasonable for creating the storm. Others think that it can be a shark that came from the sea and trying to go back to his place. Some individuals considered that as a sturgeon, which body mass is up to 90 kilos and reaches a height of 2 meters. Sturgeon are known to be quite flexible, but the giant in that video seems to be much larger than 2 meters and not flexible at all. For his part, Dr. Pete Van Vranken of the Dickman Road Veterinary Clinic in Battle Creek told the radio that he believes the creature is some sort of eel. Eels are common in Michigan Lake and they are totally native and invasive. From the body structure and movement, the chances of the creature being an eel are possible. But some of the researchers claims the creature is too large to be an eel. An eel can grow as much as 3 meters. If it was a 3 meters long creature, it would not even be seen in the video.
So he paid to have the images developed. What he found in them puzzled him. The photographs show a deformed creature with large teeth protruding from its lips and an abnormal size for a fish. Its skull was unusual due to the creature's eye sockets and strange physiognomy. Martin tried to share his finding with numerous fellow fishermen, and they all seemed puzzled. Throughout his life in that village, nothing similar had ever been detected in the lake. But the photograph was real, probably taken from the camera of a brave man who dared to take a picture of what was undoubtedly his killer.
Supposedly taken by a robotic camera while surveying an old oil tanker, a school of fish briefly swims in front of the camera, and suddenly one of the fish gets nailed by a spear in front of the camera. Something fast swims by to collect the fish shortly after. Many people believe that this video demonstrates the possibility of some kind of advanced sea creature who uses tools to hunt. After all, there's no reason for a person to be this far underwater hunting with a spear, and whatever moves in front of the camera is too fast to be a person. Of course, the obvious answer is CGI, but I would love to get your thoughts.
This shocking scene was caught by the inhabitants of a coastal city in Indonesia. These people were casually going about their lives in the area when all of a sudden, the waves of the beach washed this bizarre monster ashore. In the video, we can clearly see that this huge and lumpy creature doesn't look like any other animal we know of. Like, I mean, name one. I don't recognize this bastard. When the camera turns to the side, we can see what looks like the animal's intestines and a combination of weird body structures and collars that, like I said before, it's completely unrecognizable. It's a completely different specimen that looks like a mythological creature, and mind you, this is only the back of the creature. When we move to the front, this is what we see. Yes, we can see the face of the monster, and the first scary thing that we notice here is its abnormal tusk, hollow eyes, and absolutely deformed body that doesn't allow us to recognize most of the body parts. We don't know what most of those body parts are. Till this day, nobody knows what this creature actually is. There's been many articles on the internet hypothesizing what the creature might have been, but like I've said, the theories, and theories, nothing is actually certain about this creature. What's clear about this creature, though, is that's actually terrible. This horrible creature was found dead on the shore of an American beach. This weird creature terrified the internet because of its shocking and scary body. In its neck, the creature has long and sharp tentacles that don't fit with a whale's anatomy, which is basically what people were saying it might have been. Well, clearly it isn't. But then, when we move to the head, we find even more mysteries. The bulging and hollow eyes in a very bizarre spot. I mean, it's clear that the monster had been dead for a few days and washed ashore, but what is it really? Well, nobody knows. Not even the people that surrounded it and completely watched it amazed, saying that they had never seen something like this. Even the guy who was recording was completely terrified, rightfully so, to see something like this in real life. I mean, just look at this. It's just amazing.
The ocean set fire twice this weekend. Over the weekend, a fire lit up the ocean's surface west of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula after an underwater gas pipeline sprung a leak on Friday. So my first question is, and probably your first question is, how? Okay, so a gas pipeline sprung a leak. So what? How do you sustain a fire on the surface of the ocean? I know this is not unheard of, but how rare is this, folks? I mean, people saw the footage and didn't think it was real. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, in the Caspian Sea, a gigantic fireball flared in the offshore oil and gas fields of Azerbaijan on Sunday, reportedly because of a violent mud volcano. A mud volcano, which is a mound of mud that erupts water and natural gas. And this caused a fireball that looked like a small nuke went off. The fire in the Gulf of Mexico took place in the Kumalub-Zop oil development, operated by Mexican state-owned company Pemex. As per Reuters, Pemex said the gas leak ignited about 5:15 a.m. local time on Friday, July 2nd. How? What, did it spontaneously combust somehow? And it was extinguished by 10:30 a.m. Now, you look at these clips on platforms like TikTok, and you think, wow, if this is CGI, why does it cost millions of dollars to make these crappy big budget movies where the CGI is close to cartoon quality? And when you have stuff like this out there, how do you know what is real and what is fake? How many of you have seen the movie Nope by Jordan Peele? Part of the plot was to try and capture the impossible shot. They were trying to capture a UFO up close on film. And the thing is, even if footage like that got out and circulated the internet, it would be dismissed as a CGI hoax.
This picture was taken at Loch Ness in Scotland by a live webcam. Take a look. These pictures claim to show a mysterious creature that looks remarkably like a plesiosaur in a lake in the northern United States. Are pictures like these proof of creatures like the Loch Ness Monster existing within the U.S.?
Our next guest may have taken one of the best ever pictures of the Loch Ness Monster. A creature about 2.5 metres long has been captured on camera from the shores in Scotland.
It's sparking renewed interest in the legend of Nessie and has many asking, could this be the most compelling evidence yet? This is the latest sighting of what's believed to be the Loch Ness Monster. Ripples in the water and what appears to be the body of a creature. Taken last year, it's only just emerged after the man who took it was going through old photos. So is it Nessie or not? It's been almost 90 years since this iconic image made headlines in 1934. Known as the surgeon's photo, it later turned out to be a hoax, but even that couldn't kill off the intrigue. Since then, there have been hundreds more reports. A US expedition claimed to have taken images of a Nessie-shaped creature underwater.
We feel so strongly with regard to the reality of what we have to warn the Scottish authorities and the British authorities to look carefully into the matter.
In 1996,
it was a whale-like object.
Then there was this extraordinary video from 3 years ago. And last year, Eddie joined the hunt too.
Anyone seen the Loch Ness Monster yet?
We've got something over there.
Where?
It's white. Sort of white. Seriously white.
Now a new photo edging us ever closer to cracking the mystery of a monster in the loch.
Photographer Steve Chalice joins us now. Steve, I warn you right up front, my partner here on Sunrise, Sam, has seen the Loch Ness Monster while on a Contiki bus tour during her gap year. So we've got eyewitness accounts as well. Tell us about your eyewitness account. What exactly happened? What did you see?
Were you drunk too, Steve?
I wasn't going to dob you in.
Yeah. I was on holiday with my brother in Scotland and went to Castle Urquhart, and I was taking photographs. To be true, there were so many Chinese tourists there that I was taking photographs of the opposite side of the loch, and there was this swirl in the water in front of me. And then suddenly started taking some photographs, and suddenly this fish just surfaced. There's this photograph where you've got like a bow wave there. There's something under the water. The next thing, there was this picture. It's a fluke that I managed to get it, to be quite honest with you. And it just came out the water, and it was momentarily, and then it was gone again.
Okay, so what do you reckon it was, Steve? Are you a believer?